KPC Daily Devotional. I'd like to read two different verses. First, from 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. Husbands, in the same way, show consideration for your wives in your life together, paying honor to the woman as the weaker sex, since they too are also heirs of the gracious gift of life, so that nothing may hinder your prayers. And from Ephesians chapter 6, the verse 4. And fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord. This week, we're reading from my second collection, Your Inner Dog, Finding Your Place in the Human Pack, and a devotional, The Wrong Hand. At first, it was a few tooth marks on the buttons for locking the car doors. But Barkley was a young Schnauzer puppy, less than a year old. I shrugged it off as signs of teething. Then, tooth marks on the door vinyl. Finally, torn vinyl on the driver's side door. Discipline didn't seem to help. He had chew toys. Why tear up the car door when he had other things to chew on? It didn't make sense. Sitting in a fast food joint, I saw Barkley standing in the front passenger seat, watching for my return. A boy, maybe 8 years old, saw him and walked up to the car. He started making faces and baiting my dog. Barkley barked and growled, teeth bared menacingly, protecting his turf. I headed for the door to stop the kid from teasing my dog like that. As the noise and aggression escalated, the boy started hooting and hitting the window. Barkley leapt and snapped at the glass. Frustrated, he couldn't get a piece of the kid. Barkley turned his head, sank his teeth into the vinyl, and tore out a fist-sized piece of padding. By the time I could run off the boy, my door liner was shredded. No, this time I did not discipline Barkley. I still wonder why the boy's parents didn't do anything to stop him. They just watched. And he wasn't the only child to play a nasty baiting game with Barkley. By the time I sold that car, I had to replace 3 door panels. Dogs are very protective of their turf. They respect other dogs' space and expect their own space to be respected. If their space is violated, they become annoyed, then angry, then defensive. They warn, then threaten, and finally attack. If the attack is frustrated, they have all this emotional energy with no outlet, so they vent it where they can. If they can't bite you, they'll bite whatever else is close by, even other dogs in their own pack. When our black and tan terrier Gracie gets too excited or frightened or agitated, she will spontaneously turn and bite whichever dog is closest. The primitive violence of the canine. Good thing we humans are developmentally far beyond that. We don't do that kind of thing. Except when we've had a bad day at work and can't rip off the head of our demanding boss or that unreasonable client. Then we take our pent-up frustration home and unleash it on the innocent wife. Yell at the kids, kick the dog. Just vent those emotions. Get rid of those bad feelings. If you can't get at the hand that baits you, then bite the hand that loves you. As an aside, one of the sad corollaries to the coronavirus social distancing is a marked rise in domestic violence. Now you know why. Most domestic violence is simply biting the wrong hand. But wife beating and child abuse are only the extreme expression of the same primitive venting we're all guilty of. It's just a matter of degree. Like Barkley and Gracie, one tears vinyl, one bites her buddies. Welcome to life in the human pack. Frustration is a natural part of life. God has never promised us a life without frustration, nor would he. Life, I believe, is a test, a series of challenges to reveal our inner metal. Are you bigger than your anger? Are you bigger than your disappointment or frustration or indignation? Or will you let it consume you until you bite the wrong hand? There are other ways to vent pent-up frustration. Running, shadowboxing, chopping wood are constructive ways to release the tensions of the day. Throw ice cubes at the garage door. Psychotherapists recommend beating a wooden straight chair with a Nerf bat. Yell at a brick. Just don't bite the hand that loves you. If all else fails, bite the vinyl lining of the car door. It's always easier to fix a door panel than it is to fix a broken heart. Otherwise, you know where it leads. How once God sent his only Son to show us the depth and power of his love, and we misdirected all of our fear, our frustration, self-protectiveness, anger against him. We didn't just bite his hand, we drove nails through it. But he took it, absorbed it, exhausted it. Because of what he did, we can be forgiven and changed. He can make us bigger than baiting, bigger than biting. So, what hand have you been biting lately? I wish you a blessed day ahead. Goodbye.